give it one more shot. Do you know what I'm referencing, Ben?
I feel like it.
It's the first GSL song. Do you remember? It's like,
Ready to roll, ready to rock, ready to give it one more shot. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
From
Awesome.
Fruit Dealer's legendary run, right?
Of course. I will never. That's actually like one of the most defining esports moments in my life. Just watching
Mine too, dude.
Fruit Dealer run. I couldn't imagine how awesome it must have been just to be there at the GSL finals. Of course, lots of GSL action has wrapped up. Round of 16 groups have been determined. Some of them have been absurdly high skill level. I can't even imagine how it's going to play out, especially since GSL will wrap up at the at IPL 5 later this month. Meanwhile, guys, this is a series between two Europeans. Beasty, the orange, Terran in the bottom left corner, going for an early proxy barracks. Ben, we saw this plenty of times in the past few weeks from Terrans. Most notably Straylock in NASL.
I don't know if we've seen this exactly. I am getting the feeling that Beasty might float this barracks.
Really? Oh, he's going proxy Marauder, or really? Or maybe he's just going to proxy a Factor. This is so odd. Because no, he's not going to proxy a Factor, because he would have put the barracks back at home to alleviate suspicion.
I think it will end up just being a proxy Marauder. He's already got the rally point set to the natural, so he's not going to float it. That would have been cool, but not what we're going to end up seeing here. Mana apparently having a little bit of lags.
TTV.
Says Gregors.
Twitch TV.
Mana is such an awesome guy. Really.
Yeah, did you see his interview after ESWC? It's like, he's like the most jovial guy ever.
And it speaks to me for a number of reasons. And the first is because he is so young. He's like 17 years old.
Yeah, he's a kid.
And to have that kind of humility at that young of an age, in spite of the kind of success that he's had as a professional player, is just it's really humbling for me personally. Like I really draw a lot of inspiration from Mana, and it's really cool to be able to say that about a kid as young and is just nice as he is.
It was like they asked him, like, yeah, so what do you think about the balance of the game? He's like, actually, I don't really care about balance. I just play, and I really enjoy StarCraft too. And I guess I have to say Protoss is the weakest, right? Because it's my race. But actually, I just really enjoy playing. Just like this innocent, young guy just really enjoying what he does and being good at it as well. Really cool to see. Mana is, I think he's a little bit suspicious.
Oh, he knows exactly what he's up against. He hasn't spotted anything. I don't think he suspects any sort of Beasty, oh, surprise, I'm putting a command center down type of play. This is pretty clearly going to be Proxy Marauder, and he's already trying to look around for it. Where is it? Probes are scouting around. Zealots are running around. He is only on one gate, but he's chrono boosting out Stalkers. He's chrono boosting out Warp Gate, and I think that he should be okay. Here come those first two Marauders, though. Oh, this is interesting. Beasty's going to drop the bunker in the natural, so he's not going to try to push up the ramp. He's going to just contain and see if he can slow down Mana's expansion.
This is a build that I know Greetor told me about that a long time ago that they used to do back like in the earliest days of the beta, back when Marauders were thought to be way too strong in this matchup. Beasty, nice control and restraint. Look at that. Able to really save a lot of his Marauders, not even getting targeted down. And, well, Beasty does end up canceling that bunker.
Wow, such good control. Tries to tag all the probes and get them all, but not quite. As two of them do get away, Beasty will walk out of that with a grand total of 4 workers killed.
Yep. Overall, well done by Beasty. And he is enjoying a nice marginal lead. Now, man, at the same time, that might just provoke him to go for a huge push, just because he realizes, well, you can't really rally and reinforce that easily. You're not going to be able to get units up in time. In fact, I might just be able to just do what I did in game number 1. You harass me a lot and just bust your ramp.
What's funny is Mana still has his initial scouting probe alive in Beasty's base, so he knows exactly what Beasty has. He's going to drop a pylon on the high ground. That's very scary for Beasty. And Mana is out on the map with units. He does have 3 gates. No 4th gate down. Beasty's in a little bit of trouble right now. He has got to deal with this pylon. This could be it.
He's luring units away from the top of the ramp as well. And, oh my gosh, he picks off one of the Mars. This is bad news.
Oh, terrible situation. Beasty's going to be forced to pull a lot of SCVs. He has to deal with the pylon before he does anything. But it's going to mean losing units at either side. And Mana with a brutal attack and just some brilliant decision-making. This is a huge game for Mana, guys. If he wins it, he's in the wild cards. If he loses it, then he's almost certainly not. He's killed a ton of SCVs, 9 workers killed by Beasty, 8 workers killed by Mana, still persisting with the aggression, and that pylon still alive on the high ground. Beasty looks like he has stabilized, but man, Mana sure answered, sure punched back in a big way.
Yeah, although Mana's tech is pretty severely underdeveloped, at the same time, Beasty does have double orbital, but he's pressuring the workers off the mineral lines for so long. Incredibly valuable. And now Mana is going to also start warping some sentries back and realizing, yeah, the aggression has been thwarted for now, and I really can't do much. But Beasty, the road to recovery is long and hard, but they can do it.
Oh, what a great counterattack by Mana. That was so awesome, and it all stems from that little probe that was kept alive the entire time, and by just running circles around Beasty's base.
It was, and it just felt like some kind of weird reversal of roles in Protoss vs Zerg, where like a couple Zerg can just keep running around the base and like causing headaches. Now Protoss gets to do it to Terran, and Mana probably feels very satisfied with that. Mana also has a very nice pool of gas that he can kind of draw from to drop tech very aggressively. And you might say, yeah, sure, you know, like Mana, he's not been able to macro that much, but he actually has been warping it aggressively. It's just that he has such a big pool of gas because he kept his probes, and that actually works to his favor because Beasty hasn't been able to get gas that much. In fact, he's been pulling his workers, and so it's not like Beasty's tech is incredibly developed either. So Mana is actually in a really nice spot.
Yeah, I think both these players are in pretty solid positions. Beasty with the faster expansion, and he also has double orbital. So I think economically Beasty's a little better off. Mana's tech, as you've already been pointing out, he's just now getting his robo done. And Beasty's already got his factory down. He's going to be throwing out the starport soon. He's going to be able to start applying pressure with medevacs. Wow, this is so bold.
But what's so funny is Beasty sees it with his add-on, and Mana doesn't see the add-on.
What? Why does a tech lab have this much vision?
Oh, it's the scouting tech lab. Do you see
this makes no sense.
Oh.
This is like an unpowered gateway.
Yeah. Why should he even see anything? How does anyone have vision in this?
This is hilarious.
Everyone has abandoned this tech lab. There's not a living soul in this tech lab.
I think the missile turret guy is inside of this tech lab. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
There's literally no activity on any side from this tech lab. Either way, man, Beasty now has a very, very convenient excuse to push now across the map, and realizing
Mana's like, how does he know?
He's like, this guy must be the sickest Terran of all time.
Here comes Beasty. Mana has so few units right now. Does drop a couple of pretty good force fields, but I don't know if it's going to matter. There's another warp in, but Mana with only 3 gates is in a little bit of trouble. But Beasty kind of stemming his army to death. He's going to have to go try to find another entrance. Honestly, might have been a little over-eager going before his medevacs. We'll see just how it turns out as the sentries are melting away. Stalker's going to melt away as well. Mana needs another warp in. His Colossus is nowhere near completion. This Nexus, oh, Dan, I think this Nexus is going to go down.
This tech lab, man, being such a big hero for the Terran army, and Mana not able to really control correctly, and as a result will lose this third Nexus. Is not very favorable situation at all. Now, meanwhile, Mana is going for a double forge. Imagine if that third would be able to pop up. Mana would be super far ahead, but no, Beasty now able to apply pressure. And the best part about it is that Beasty gets stronger. That was one of his weaker points because he didn't really have medevacs out into the field, and he was very vulnerable if Mana had his Colossus out. But now that the Colossus is out into the field, there's not that much support for it.
I think Mana is just dead, Dan. He has no real units. He has only 3 gates. He's trying to go double forge because he thought he had a third, but that tech lab, the hero of the day for Beasty, the Mana arch nemesis, I suppose. Beasty's going to load up a medevac, I guess, and send it to the main base as he continues to apply this pressure in the natural.
Yeah, now Mana's supply blocked as well. This is a very tough situation. Beasty really can't actually push into here, especially with the second Colossus popping out. That's almost throwing away your lead unnecessarily. Oh, Beasty actually getting a little bit careless with some of his units. He has to be very, very cautious because he doesn't have any Vikings. Very nice job by Mana to try to poke off these medevacs. That's a lot of units of supply. He's able to shut down a significant amount, but needs to also deal with it at the other front. The Colossus does clean up most of the Marines and medevacs. Mana defending both sides as valiant as he can, trying to hold on, and he's doing a pretty decent job, but he's only down to just one Colossus. Beasty trying to multitask his opponent out of the game.
Yeah, Beasty's really making the most of what he has. Mana making the most of what he has. The truth of the matter is this is a surprisingly even game in spite of all of this. 38 workers to 41 workers, now 40 workers to 41 workers. Beasty's going to continue with this hyper-aggressive bio style. He does have a third command center building, so he will at least have his third base a little bit faster than Mana, but I do feel like Mana's reaching a point of stability. It's all going to kind of depend on this next big drop, this next 3 medevacs that are making their way into the back of Mana's main base.
Big thing is that Mana doesn't have Thermal Lance, and he can't really afford it because he's trying to warp in units. One Colossus popping out. Mana should see the medevacs now, and he needs to back off and kind of abandon this post for at least a small period of time. Big stem from Beasty as he's trying to also get a position.
One Colossus will fall, and Beasty will immediately load up. Might lose a full medevac, though, and I think, oh, man, Ace Combat Pilot Award. That medevac will sneak away with only 20 hit points. Barely lives to fly another day. Beasty's third command center is now complete, and Mana is reeling 39 probes to 50 SCVs. He's lost a Colossus. He still just does not have the infrastructure he needs to build his army.
And he still doesn't even have Thermal Lance. The one Colossus is not going to be that useful. You see Mana getting a Twilight Council. He has to stay on 2 base and make something happen. Beasty is also lining up more drops. He has a couple poked outside of the natural from Mana, but the main concern is that he now has 3 bases. All of the momentum in the world belongs to Beasty.
Medevac going to make its way into the back of the natural now. A couple of Marauders and a single Marine going to kill a probe or 2 before Mana's able to respond to it. Finally, Mana finds that pesky tech lab, but he has not been able to deal with it just yet.
Yes, that tech lab explains so much of why Mana has had so much trouble. Imagine if Mana was able to capitalize on everything. Beasty, his aggression would be unwarranted. He'd poke at a normal time. Mana would have more units than normal, and Beasty would have been probably very much struggling to get this third base up because Mana's counterattack would have been incredibly strong. As a result, the outcome of this game is completely different. Beasty now has an army supply twice that of Mana, and it would take an unbelievable error from Beasty to basically lose. I think if he just attacked up the ramp, he would just simply win.
He's got double Mana's army supply. Mana has no answer for the Vikings, and I don't really think Mana has an answer for the Terran army on the whole. Like, this is just too much. This is too much Terran for Mana to deal with. There's only 6 Stalkers back at home.
Oh,
Mana is very upset. Sorry.
He leaves the game
as he taps out, loses his. Beasty makes a trolly smiley face there at the very end. So Beasty wins, Mana loses. Both players will finish their North American Star League season at 4-4.
Very nicely done by Beasty. I think that tech lab was just I can't believe it.
Tech lab, play of the game.
It's such a small linchpin that it controls so much chaos. I mean, the game outcome was literally decided by a tech lab.
The tech lab with more vision than any tech lab should ever have.
That's so ridiculous. It was a
tech lab with binoculars.
It's like a tech lab with I don't even understand. It probably had some kind of I feel like it has more detection range than Observer.
It's like a battery-powered sensor tower.
I have no idea how that happened, but it's really cool to see Beasty actually succeed well, and now he finished out the season 4-4, tied with Mana, like you said.
Yep.
That game and series was brought to you by Audible. To download a bestseller, go to nasl.tv/p/audible for a bestseller audiobook today. Guys, this is normally where we're like, oh man, we casted 5 series today, we're done. We still have a lot more. We have 3 more to go.
One of the super exciting games coming up will be Alicia versus Violet, and this is one that I'm really, really amped up for. Alicia's 5-2 in the group. He cannot finish first. Violet has locked that down. He's 7-0. But Alicia can finish second. If he goes on to win this map, he will be 6-2 in the group. He'll be the only player in the group with 6 wins. other than Violet, and that'll be awesome for him. So Violet will finish up 7-1 with a loss, still will be in first place. With a win, Violet's 8-0 with one of the most impressive map scores in all of the league. That's what's coming up next, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break. Alicia Violet, Protoss versus Zerg when we get back.